Good afternoon and welcome to the 15th meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. Please silence all of your electronic devices. If you're appearing today before the commission, please introduce yourself and your client and spell your names for our commission's reporter. And if you're here to testify, please come forward, introduce yourself, spell your name, and be sworn in by Ms. Arai. Saying that, commissioners, I see we have a request to add on.
Yes, Chair. Motion to add on agenda item 15B to today's agenda.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. The request to add on agenda item number 15B is approved. Commissioner, I see we have some minutes.
Yes, Chair. Motion to approve regular and executive session minutes of the 12th meeting as previously circulated.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. The regular and executive minutes of the 12th meeting are approved. Let's move into the public hearing. Calling agenda item number 1, application number 18-14007 from Kati Foods Pizza Hawaii Inc. Mr. Z. Bakalam.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the Commission. Emmanuel Z. Bakalam here on behalf of Kati Foods Pizza Hawaii. To my right is Luther Pasqua Mateo. He's the General Manager, and we can answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much. Ms. Harai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 33 written protests. Of that number, 22 are from owner lessees within 500 feet of the proposed premises, representing approximately 2.5% of that number. 16 coming from registered voters within 500 feet of the proposed premises, representing approximately 2% of that number. And 141 signatures in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Okay, I see we do have some people that have signed up to testify. Can we have Mr. Jesse Cohen? Please come forward, sir.
And I will run a 3-minute timer, Chair.
Correct, thank you, Ms. Ross.
Jesse Cohen.
Do you swear that the testimony you give at today's hearing will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I'm Easton Manson, and I'm the owner of the property that Jesse leases. I'm also on the list.
Yes. So,
May I sit also and speak?
yes, but we're going to go by individuals, so you,
Can I go first?
Mr. Cohen is number 1 and you are number 2.
Is it okay if we go out of order?
Pardon?
Is it okay if we go out of order?
Correct,
I'm
you
gonna-
may.
I need to swear you in.
Okay.
Introduce yourself, spell your name, and be sworn in by Ms. Arai. Thank you.
Yes, Easton Manson.
Do you swear that the testimony you give at today's hearing will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
You have 3 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm Easton Manson. I own the 3 parcels immediately adjacent to the applicant's leased premises. And so that includes the Kokua Market building, the Kokua Market parking lot, and Kahuna Lane, which is immediately adjacent to the applicant's leased premises. And so I believe there's a few individuals here from the community. We've been owners of that property since the 1930s, those 3 parcels. And Kokua Market has been a tenant of ours since the 1980s in that location. What we would like to talk about is the impacts, potential impacts of an on-premise, I understand an on-premise liquor license for beer and wine at the applicant's address. And first off, we'd like to talk about some of the current conditions. And I think it would be easier if I could share some photographic information. I have copies. Is that okay?
Oh, that's Mr. Perez.
So the first image is the Pyology. I'll wait to you.
Yeah.
is the Pyology leased premises. And you'll see a cross-hatched road that is immediately adjacent to that. That road says on it, private access, no parking, 5 miles per hour. And this is a customer of Pyology who is parking and waiting for their pizza on this particular road. The next image is the Pyology premises, and this is a Uber Eats vehicle. And this is actually, I believe this is someone getting dropped off to visit Pyology and parked on the same lane. You go. This is Coca-Cola, and they are also parked on the same private road. It's private access. And this is Armstrong Produce. It's delivering food on the same private road. Jesse will speak more about the customers of Pyology and their employees parking in the parking lot across the street. But our primary concern is on-premise consumption of alcohol. At this leased location, considering the amount of traffic they're creating on private property, both the private road and the private parking lot that's adjacent to this. Unfortunately, Pyology does not have dedicated parking. Jesse will provide you with signage regarding the parking that is available on that parcel, but apparently not for Pyology. And our concern is on-premise consumption of alcohol, and then parking on the lane after consuming alcohol, or parking in the Kokua Market parking lot after consuming alcohol. As you know, the applicant hasn't offered to provide the adjacent landowner any sort of insurance coverage or any other types of protection from liability, and so we are adverse to on-premise drinking and then driving on the private road or parking in the private parking lot that's immediately adjacent to the leased premises of Pyology.
Okay, could you summarize, please? Or
Excuse me?
could you summarize?
Yes, so in summary, we're adverse to an on-premise license at the applicant's address because they do not have public access for vehicular parking or temporary parking or long-term parking, be it for their employees or for their customers.
Okay, so let me just make it clear so that you understand. This commission does not have the authority to rule on any property disputes or public areas. We are only concerned with the licensed premises and the licensees.
Yes, and our concern is that the customers of that
I understand your
premises.
concern, but that is not within our jurisdiction, so I would not ask any of the commissioners to comment on that.
Sure, they don't need to.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Coyne?
Hello, my name is Jesse Cohen. I'm the general manager of Kokua Market, and I'm here to speak about the impacts that we've already seen from the opening of Pyology on our access to our parking, the conditions on the road, as well as the safety concerns that I have about people consuming alcohol at Pyology and then trespassing in our parking lot. So the first image here is a sign from the Halimahana building where it clearly states that there is parking strictly for residents and guests. There's no parking for Pyology or the business, the other retail locations there, but in this situation, Pyology. And so their customers have either taken it upon themselves or perhaps been instructed that it would be okay for them to trespass in our parking lot and park there despite clear marking to the contrary. And my concern is not only with the access, and here you can see more evidence of people parking in our lot and then walking over to Pyology. So my concern is not only about the access for my customers to come shop, but also their experience shopping once people have been consuming alcohol at Pyology, parking in my lot, which at this point I have to have either myself or my employees tell them that they cannot park there or should not have been able to park there So I'm concerned for the safety of my employees. Should they have to tell someone to move their car and the person is perhaps belligerent after drinking? If that person has been drinking and then getting in their car and driving, I believe that we could be liable for anything that occurs, on our premises. We are not insured for on-premise consumption of alcohol, and I'm concerned for the safety of my customers, as well as their property. Should someone from Biology, and you can see more of some of the parking habits of the customers there in Biology, and there's a copy for everyone. Excuse me. But I'm also concerned for the safety of my customers' property as well as their person. Should someone be drinking at Biology, illegally park in our lot, back into a car, hit a car that they're parked next to, God forbid, hit a person. Many of our customers are local and the senior citizen community, and I feel that it's my responsibility to oppose the on-premise consumption of alcohol at Biology, considering the fact that they're blatantly disregarding the rights of our establishment and the posted permissions regarding parking. If alcohol was added into that mix, it's a safety concern for my employees, for my customers, as well as their property.
Please summarize.
So, in summary, gravely concerned about the consumption of alcohol at Biology, the establishment adjacent to our business where we've been for over 30 years, and the effects of people consuming alcohol there, trespassing on our property, and endangering the health and well-being of my employees, my customers, as well as their property.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Question, if I may.
Yes,
Have you ever called Honolulu Police Department?
we have.
Okay.
Yes,
And they have responded?
they have.
Have you ever towed any vehicles?
I have not yet towed.
I would strongly advise you start towing.
I would be happy to do that, but first and foremost, I can just want to make sure that people there are sober, and I don't want to get into any altercations with someone who's been drinking and then had their car towed, or put my employees in that situation either.
Very good, okay. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application?
Question.
Okay,
Yes.
Commissioner's
Just a quick
question?
question.
Sure.
What is your hours of operation for your market?
Our hours of operation are from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. Excuse me.
Monday through Friday?
No,
Monday through Sunday?
7 days a week.
Any further questions, Commissioner? Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, Mr. Z. Bakalam, would you please respond with your client to these allegations?
Of course.
And by the way, for the record, I thought at the last time that the gentleman appeared before the commission, we had concerns from the community. I thought we were going to get together with the community, with your neighbors, and try to resolve the differences. Was that done?
Just with community members, not necessarily with the neighbor.
This gentleman over here seems to be a pretty prominent landholder in that neighborhood. I would imagine I would have went to him first.
Okay.
With that being said,
Okay. And you know, I'll start with a couple things. The first being, with every biology that we open, community is probably our number one concern. The reason being, it's not only the people who live around us, but they're the people who patron our store. As you know, with our other applications as well as with this one, we try and work with the local schools as well as with the community to make sure that we're making a positive impact rather than a negative one. I do know that there has been much concern regarding this one, and it actually is in the neighborhood that I reside in, so I am familiar with it. I believe that a majority of the concern comes from a dispute regarding land. I don't know if that necessarily has the same type of impact on us getting a liquor license as it should in a legal court for a separate matter. In regards to the specific items that have been brought up today, and in regards to the protests that we've seen, our establishment serves pizza with beer and wine. We're not looking to serve shots. We're not looking to get people drunk. We're looking to allow individuals the ability to have a beverage with their dinner. That being said, in regards to the drop-offs, there is a drop-off space in the back of the building. I'm not sure when or why the trucks were on the side of the building, but there is a designated space in the rear of the building so that it won't be on the street that's in question. Additionally, it's been common use that the car parking spaces inside the building have been used for guests of Pyology so far. And in all honesty, we look primarily to serve the communities surrounding us, so we'd hope a majority of people wouldn't drive and would just come, since there is a large community base next to us. That being said, we're very vigilant on how we watch people when they drink, and every time that you get an alcoholic beverage, a manager has to pour it for you, so there's 2 points of contact to make sure the individual is A, not just drunk, and B, has a valid license, because we are sensitive to the area that we're in regards to the college. So with that being said, we do bring in all alcohol service at 10 p.m. to make sure that any noise is considerably lessened during quiet hours. And I can speak to any other point that you feel needs a appropriate response.
Commissioners, do you have any question for the applicant?
Mr. Zibakalam, do you know offhand how many other licensed premises in the same class of license are within 500 feet of your establishment?
Pardon me, I just have to look through.
What I'm trying to get at is that this is the university area, correct?
Correct.
So there's several places, and some are just bars that are not in the same class that you folks are applying for, correct?
Correct. Yeah, there
In
are-
that area, I'm thinking there's Imana's, there's Greek Corner, the Nook, Little Soul, and then there's several others that are bars, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So this establishment is not gonna be without company, correct?
Correct. And I think for clarification, we are trying to create that separation. We're not trying to be a bar. We're trying to be a restaurant that allows people to eat and have a beverage at the same time, which hopefully would be beneficial. Not to say anything against bars, but
No, but Imana's is like right across the street from you, correct?
yes.
Okay. Alright, and they're in the same classes like of license as you folks?
Correct.
And you folks are not serving any spirits or cocktails, just beer and wine?
No spirits, just beer and wine.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
I have a question.
Commissioner
If
Lee?
you, just a little, you mentioned that the parking is shared parking with, I guess, the building as well as your tenant. How many spaces are assigned to them?
So we don't have assigned spaces. Right now it's kind of a go in and park as you will. There is a parking meter that's there. I imagine that once the meter is up and running and they've delegated the spots to the units, they'll be able to share the exact amount of assigned spaces for the commercial retail on the bottom.
Okay. But it is open for
Yes.
residents of that building as well as commercial tenants.
Oh, I have one question, Mr. Zima. How long is your lease for? I know I should have it in front of me, but I was fumbling here.
I would have to check on that. I'm sorry.
2 5-year options.
You have it, Commissioner, Vice Chair Donovan. When does the lease expire?
It's 5 years and it's 2 5-year options. According
With
to,
or without?
oh I'm sorry, it's 10 years
10
and
years?
2 months.
So with or without liquor license? This is Cody Foods Pizza Hawaii, Biology will be your neighbor. Commissioners, do you have any other type of action?
Motion to approve application number 18-14007.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 1, application number 18-14007 is approved. Thank you for coming, gentlemen. And agenda item number 2, application number 19-14653 from Multi Latin Foods LLC. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, you guys. Alejandro Alvarado. Do I have to spell it?
Please.
Alejandro, last name Alvarado, Alvarado.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, Commissioners?
Motion to approve application number 19-14653.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 2, application number 19-14653 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys then.
Moving into, good luck. Moving into agenda item number 3, these are special license applications. Application number 19-15277 from Hawaii Academy of Performing Arts.
Guys over there. Your testimony that came in late. Yes, it's on your, it's not over, yeah. It's on your list. It's someplace.
Okay, so I see we have some, I will allow testimony on this. Mr. Stack, did you,
Oh, wait, if you could enter your appearance, please?
I'm sorry, you hadn't,
Yeah, they've not
Your
done
name
this.
is for the.
My name is Sarah Bauer. I'm representing Hawaii Academy of Performing Arts. It's SARAHBAUER.
My name is Jonathan Mack. I'm representing Culture Group Incorporated. They produce the event. JONATHANMACK.
Thank you.
okay. So before I ask the commissioners, do we have anybody that we will allow testimony on this agenda item? Although this is only a special license application. Mr. Stack?
I'm gonna swear him in and run a 3-minute timer. Do you swear that the testimony you give today's hearing will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Spell my name. Hi, Commissioners. My name is Alan Stack. I'm a landowner in the affected area and a business owner also. I object to the liquor part of this permit being issued, which is why we're here. I thought when I saw the application on the DTS website that Mark had, who I don't see today, had done the right thing and had reserved the street because Murph had had trouble with his St. Patty's Day. After they shut the alcohol down at 10, they all spilled up to Hotel Street. And I think they had to close the street and reroute the buses sort of after the fact. I thought Mark had done the right thing and reserved the street without programming to avoid the debacle that Murph had gotten into. Lo and behold, there's to be programming and alcohol. The property I own fronts on Nu'uanu Avenue. It's primarily businesses, merchants, glass storefronts, doorways, recessed doorways. I'm concerned about the insurance risk of turning my storefronts into one of the walls of this bar / festival. I don't see the need for that. Years ago, there were community-based meetings, and the liquor-based street parties, of which this is one, were moved over to Richard Street and the Armed Forces Y. At the neighborhood board, there was some belly aching that they couldn't reserve the lawn this time. They could still get the street, but they couldn't reserve the lawn. And I wasn't part of the conversation that moved them over to Richard Street. I would never tell anyone else that they have to take this. But I also was not communicated with when they decided to move back to Nu'uanu Avenue. Although I did go to all of these community-based meetings years ago. I thought in part the decision on liquor was community-based, at least community input, which is, and I thank you people why I'm here today.
Thank you.
There's no compelling reason this party cannot be on Richard Street, where the other Nu'uanu Avenue block parties have moved, to the best of my knowledge. You know, years ago, I'll just close with a little aside. Years ago, the person who's in charge of these festivals, who I don't see today, tried to fleece one of my tenants who was going to sell merchandise on private property in front of his store. That guy hates him, you know. And I don't know what we're hearing on the positive side about these, but
It's time.
it's not a good thing for our neighborhood.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody else that would like to please come forward, Ms. Stack?
I swear you in. Do you swear that the testimony you give today's hearing will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Lee Stack. I also own property business on Nu'uanu and Hotel Street. And you know, we've been here for years, and the community has been here for years. These have a huge impact in the area, and they have a huge impact on us as property and business owners. The liability risks are huge of having 6 to 7 bars on the street right outside our properties and businesses serving mixed drinks for up to 5 hours. There have been incidents in the past. I've personally witnessed people staggering drunk, walking down the street. I've personally taken pictures, which I have packets here today, of sidewalks blocked, even though they say they won't be blocked. They were blocked years ago. They were blocked last year, with porta potties, with vendors, materials and belongings, with open power cords that aren't secured. These are all hazards and risks that really affect us, not to mention the noise, the trash, and these other things. So these events do have a huge impact and risk for us in the area, and that's why we object to the granting of these kinds of permits. We were more satisfied when they were over at High Sam and that risk was away from us, but now they're back and they say that it's too late to move it. They say they can't use the lawn for a stage, even though they stage events on the street, and they have stages on the street in Chinatown all the time. We note there is a community petition, probably up to 2,000 signatures, that was communicated to the Liquor Commission and the mayor years ago about this event. The packet that I have has a newsletter from the neighborhood board in 2012, also documenting the impact. So this is a very long-standing problem. I would also like to note that the Hawaii Academy of Performing Arts is not current in its filing with DCCA, so they are not compliant for this year in the filing with DCCA for 2017, I believe it was.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Is there anybody else who will allow, you know?
Good afternoon.
Do you swear that the testimony you give at today's hearing will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
You're being inundated with stacks. I'm Elizabeth M. Stack, and I'm here to say that I don't think that this is a good idea. We are impacted by it. You've heard from two of my family members. My son mentioned that one of his tenants tried to sell merchandise and was shut down. One of my tenants also tried to sell merchandise and she was shut down. I'm told that there are no incidents arising from these festivals. And I think one of the reasons is that the promoter says in his publication information, if you have a problem, tell me about it. Well, that's fine, and they do. And he either handles it or sues the tenant, but it's never reported. Also, I don't believe they have a permit yet from the DTS, and their website changes. It's changed 3 times already about what has to be paid to go here and what has to be paid to go there. And if you don't pay early, you may not get in and things like that. And if this continues, I think that it's an approval if it comes for a function that isn't set yet. And I'm not sure that's a good thing. We have had broken windows. We have more graffiti than we've ever had. I think probably everyone in the world does, but it comes, I think, with the exposure that a happening like this lends itself to. We have restricted parking for our business tenants. They put up the barricades that day, and so there's no drive-by. For the tenants close to King Street, there's hardly any walk-by. The liability, I think, has been mentioned, and we're quite sensitive to that. It's not a consumer-friendly party. It's a party for people who want to drink. Over 21 is what I'm hearing. It goes on at night. You're not going to find families there. The restaurants will get some business. The stores, very little, if any. And the bars, a tremendous amount. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Mrs. Stack? Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Can we hear your response to the community's concerns of your event?
Sure. We actually presented to neighborhood board and we had a unanimous voting in favor of our event. The Stacks family did come and present their opinions as well too. Multiple people in the neighborhood community support the event. It has to be noted that this is the 11th year of the event. This is not a new event. We've been doing it for quite a while. Our goal is to try to provide value for the community. It's difficult to make everybody happy, as I could just see from different scenarios, but we are and have been incident free. We continuously try to strive to improve and making it a more safe event. We have like 3 tiers of security. We have over 40 guards. We have about 30 special duty officers. We got advice and feedback from the Liquor Commission last year with regards to one of our stages. It went like 5 minutes over time, and now we specifically have stage managers setting the stage time to stop 5 minutes before 10 o'clock, so 9:55. We're here to improve and provide value. You know, a lot of the businesses want this event, and the art community, Arts and Marks, and I don't know, have any of you guys been to Honolulu just to see adults dressed
I have.
up and actually enjoy themselves? It's a special need for the community, and there's difference of perception. You know, different demographics. Last year they didn't have the Chinese New Year parade because it was shut down. They didn't have funding to do it. It's really hard to provide and bring energy into Chinatown, which is losing a lot of its lackluster to Kakoako, that area. And I think the community does need it. It needs that revibrance. And I'm proud to be part of it to present this to the community. If you guys have any concerns you would like to ask me, I would love to answer any of the specific questions.
I would like to hear you address her specific concerns. So property damage, that cannot happen, guys. You know, if these folks are part of the community that you folks are saying you're trying to, you know, provide something for, and then we have members of the community here, prominent members that are saying there's property damage occurring during your events. So please address her specific concerns that she mentioned in
Okay,
her
so
testimony.
that specific concern, and I've been producing for the last 3 years, and our 3 years of producing it, we have never had any known property damage. Nobody has presented property damage to us. Listening to their concerns, it seemed like a lot of it was like from 2012. That's 6 years ago.
It still happened within, you said that
Not
you
in
folks
my
have
last-
been doing this for 11 years though, correct?
The event is 11 years,
So even
but for the
though that
last 3
you're only
years,
been doing it for 3 years, you still need to take into consideration that this has been a long-standing event, and there are people that are very opposed to it because of things that have happened within that 11-year period. So I understand that you are only in charge with the most recent years, but there is a history, you know. So, okay, so
So
how
we
are
have-
you folks going? What are you going to do to prevent property damage?
we have security that been working in the Chinatown area for the last, I don't know, I would love to ask if you could come and kind of represent, because they know the nightlife, they know the industry, and they know the area. We have security looking out for this. We have 10 spotters within our own team looking out to make sure everything is okay. I think to point fingers and say that this event causes graffiti, I think that's a little bit beyond, you know, like I don't think.
That's fine.
Good.
What about her saying that there's safety and liability issues concerning your vendors, open cords, things like that, blocked sidewalks?
So according to DTS, once we have a fire lane and there's public access, we can have sidewalks blocked because the whole street is now the open area for public access. So yes, there are some points where sidewalks were blocked, but there were open areas in the street where there is public access, and we got that permission from DTS.
Let me stop you there. I have been to this event, and I've been to lots of events in Chinatown. Some much better than others. And my concern with what you're saying is that that's not what happens. Is that the street gets so crowded, you cannot really walk through. And then if the sidewalks are also blocked, there's no way for people, if they're not part of the event and they don't want to be in the middle of that drunken crowd, there's no way for them to get through. There's no egress. So how are you folks going to address that?
Mike runs the production, and we can actually have a map to share with you to show areas where we can show egress.
Okay.
Can I get
You
Mike an
folks
opportunity?
provide it to us? Because I think I have a map here as well. Is this the one?
Yeah, we also have a security
Okay.
map as well.
Mike, would you like to chime in?
Please introduce yourself for our reporter.
My name is Michael Galmici, MICHAELGALMICHU.
And what is your responsibility or what is your
I'm
position?
the lead production manager.
Okay, so we're all looking at this, yeah?
So this year, what we plan on doing is to answer that question for sidewalk blockage. We will have one sidewalk accessible, and we also have security at each point where we have bars, because we don't like public access behind our bars. It's a sensitive area. There's money and things like that. So we like to barricade that for safety, and security, but we have dedicated security in case we have like we need wheelchair access to pass through, to collapse those barricades to allow them to pass through.
So where is gonna be the open sidewalks?
The open sidewalks are for each street we have one sidewalk one side that will be free.
Okay.
So it's different for every street.
So wherever the vendors are, the sidewalk behind them will be closed,
Correct.
but the sidewalk across will be open.
available.
And then will there be areas where there's gonna be clearly delineated places to cross the street? Cause that's the other issue, is when you close off the entire street, the crosswalks kinda don't mean anything. So how do people get across the street through the crowd to get to the open sidewalk if they're trying to walk through?
So that we have security, and we will bring that up in our briefing with our 10 staff on our team to make sure we assist in clearing areas that people need to get through.
And in regards to the one question with everybody who comes in to vend at our events has a permit. If they're a food vendor, they have to have their fire license and they have to have the food permits. Everything is according to standards and permitting. So nobody's just blatantly selling food that's not within, permitting ability.
Okay.
I have another question. If I didn't have a ticket to this event and I wanted to get to one of the restaurants or establishments or any shop along one of these street closed routes, how would I do that?
Just walk in.
You would let us come in without?
Of course. The ticket is only to validate that you could buy alcohol at the bar. So the tickets are only for 21 and up.
The wristband.
The wristband. Well, it's the wristband. So that helps us validate who's 21 and up and who's not and who's drinking. So if you do not have a wristband, then you're not allowed to drink. So that makes it easy for our security to pinpoint who's being ID checked. So that's how we differentiate, and that's the purpose of charging the ticket or the wristband price. It's free. It's free to the general public.
Countering what you just stated, according to the materials that has been distributed amongst us commissioners, it is saying that the entrance fee for this event is $15. That's what was supplied to us, is that it's $15. It has no, and it also states that everybody has to be 21 and over unless they're escorted with a parent. So
The wristband to get into the event to access the bars is $15. We updated the verbiage on our website because DTS contacted us, so to make it clearer. So the verbiage on the website is clearer now. It's an evolving process in how we market the event and how we present it, and we realized semantically it wasn't presented correctly, and we've updated that and corrected that on our website now. State that it's free and open to the public, and that it's $15 for a wristband for bar access. We specifically say bar access on the website.
okay, so what was submitted to us, and let me quote, says attendees must purchase a wristband from the festival. So having said that, wristbands, you guys have it for sale online right now?
Yes.
You do. Where is your will call to pick up these wristbands?
We have 5 wristband checkpoints on the map. They should be in orange with the W sign. That's
So-
a wristband station.
They are presenting, explain to me what the procedure is to pick up the wristband.
So if they purchased a ticket online, when they come to the wristband station, we'll check their IDs because they must be 21 to get any type of wristband. There's 3 ticket types. So all ticket types you need to be 21. So you get ID'd first, and then you present your ticket, in which we scan, and then you get the appropriate wristband.
So scanning,
Scan.
what are you doing? You're scanning the wristband,
No, scanning the tickets.
the tickets.
Yeah. So if you
Okay,
bought a ticket online, you will have
You
your
get the-
ticket either
the-
on your phone or you can print it out.
So when I enter this event and I tell your security I have a wristband, I gotta go pick it up. You guys are gonna let me in.
It's at all the entrance points, yes.
So you have to pass through that in order to access
Okay.
the areas.
Okay. I have several questions for you folks. There was no mention, and I came across this. What is the craft beer tasting station? Because I don't see it on your map either.
It's the purple at the top of
At the arts at Mark's
that's
Garage.
at Mark's Garage.
So that is made of no mention in any of the material you guys provided. So as part of the activities that you guys provided, other than the band layout and what's happening there, it was to my surprise to find that you guys are offering with your guys passes. You guys, part of it is you get 5 free craft beer tastings at the craft beer area, featuring over 20 craft beers. Do you not think that that's an important detail to bring to this commission, that this event is happening there?
Absolutely.
It is. And I'm going to be really, really clear with you folks on this, is disclosure to us is key. And we need to know every activity that is happening here. You guys are set with the same scrutiny as any other bar that sets up shop. Now to me, for me to go dig and find out, and how I find out is I buy a ticket to these events, okay? I'm letting you guys know that I purchased a ticket so I know whether it works or not. It is too important for this commission to even to play a lax role and not be aware of what's happening. So the intent with this craft beer tasting, what is the intent? What's happening? Why wasn't it mentioned? Who's monitoring that? Is it Events International as stated as your beer? What's going on? Explain to us on that.
So that is, we look at it as another bar.
Okay.
Another bar area. So all the other bars are serving a variety of different types of alcohol. This one is strictly just serving craft beers. And the
Is it a beer garden?
No,
What's the setup?
it's in the footprint
Okay.
as well. But it's 2-ounce tastings. It's just samples. So you get 5 samples of your choice of, between 20 different flavors.
So what is it in? Like little dentist cups? What is it? When we say 5 flights and you're giving them 5 flights,
Yeah,
what is
it's a 3-ounce size cup for each tasting, but the pour is approximately 2 ounces.
So, bless you. So just wanted to apologize if you feel as though that we didn't present it, because we thought of it as just being one of the bars and it's just a different serving within the bar. That was our perception, and we apologize for that.
so
We
it's
wasn't
outside
aware
of the
that-
bar. It's outside of the bar. It's on the street basically.
It is on the
Correct,
street,
right?
correct.
Like the other bars. On
Okay. Because with the other bars, they already passed. They already have their licenses.
No, our bars on the street.
Right. But it's within the area. This is an activity happening within your area. It's an important fact that should have been made light to us here. And I don't like to find things out on my own or go through things. Is there anything else that you feel is pertinent for us to know associated with this venue?
The event or the venue?
For this event
we-
itself.
So I'll tell you the perception of reason for the craft beer. We've noticed, and this is I'm going to explain from a marketing standpoint, that a very sophisticated crowd has been coming to craft beer tastings like Oktoberfest, and we feel as though it's almost like how there's wine tastings, there's beer has become that connoisseur of a tasting to taste how some people brew it from different wheats. And our perception for Honolulu was to bring that older sophisticated crowd that wanted that experience, and that was our purpose for that. Regards to that second question, we have a tied-in ticket for Ja Rule at the lower tower, which we have a double ticket for. I don't know how that would. It's basically you buy a ticket and you get into both events with a special ticket. That's a separate license, that's a whole separate entity. That's just more of a marketing.
So since you
partnership.
mentioned that, let me ask you this. So I purchased the ticket.
The Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
I purchased your joint venture, which is, what is it, $65 joint pass? This is cross promotions, right?
Yes.
So my intent is I'm gonna go to Ja Rule, and I leave Ja Rule, I have my wristband there. You're telling me that I take the same scan ticket and I go to your Wilcon, I get another band.
So what happens is for Ja Rule, they get a printout of your ticket numbers. So when you go to that event, you don't get scanned. You show your ticket and you get checked off the list.
So we'll have that promoter answer that side of the question. But what I'm asking is when I come in with my wristband, you guys are claiming that you guys are gonna scan my ticket and give me another ticket, right? Or give me another wristband.
Correct.
When you come back to our event, you have to recheck and do a whole new ID check with us. We're not going to just accept what came across. When you come into our event, it's a recheck of your ID.
Yeah, we're
You
not
get
the
a new
same wristbands.
You get an entirely
Okay.
new wristband.
So
That
we
is
get their
that
own
is my
wristband, we
question
get our
about the same wristband,
It's
so
not
to
the same
speak.
wristband. Just
Okay.
to just be clear, we're two separate events, and it just happened that the event
But
was
there
on the
was
same night.
dialogue obviously happening between two events about cross promoting, correct?
Correct.
Or
So
else
we
the
don't
pricing
compete.
structure would not be there, there would be none of that. So there is dialect between two promoters happening here. For you, Mr. Gomichi, I am aware of your events. You've always put on very good and you've done under the 18 crowd. So I know you're very conscious about the public, the community, and the events that you've done. So my suggestion is, because you have a cross of hands with a tons of promoters and people in charge here, that you guys need to be informed of what's going on. The right needs to know what's happening with the left. You guys need to be aware of what is the security protocol, what's happening here basically, right? Because it may be Mike's perception, it may be someone else's, someone switched the rule, didn't communicate that. That's an issue and a problem for this many people attending. It's too late to change rules the day of the event and not have proper communication. Okay. I think that's all that I have for now. And the other thing I want to bring to your attention as well as what I always do as the Hawaii Academy of Performing Arts. I encourage you to read the supplemental statement and the statement of understanding of what it is to have a nonprofit, and by getting this license, what it means. And when I talk about the special one day, the licensee is you. Yeah, the licensee is you, so you're responsible. So I will then highlight and always tell you to please pay attention to your supplemental statement, which is number 1, and specifically number 7 and number 8. I believe you did make mention that you guys are having outside food vendors as well. Know that that has to have written approval through the commission as well too. So there's a form to be filling out with that as well, with all the vendors that you guys are bringing in food wise, yeah. On the caterer side, specifically number 8.
I have a couple things to add. Commissioner Ganaban asked about the wristband stations, and I see them here highlighted in orange. How many attendees are you folks expecting?
I want to say 3,000 to 4,000.
Okay, so they have to come through these 4 wristband areas. How are you guys gonna control the crowd waiting in line to get their wristbands?
So this event, the past couple of years, I mean, it's a slow. People come staggeredly. They don't all come at once.
Okay.
And they come from different.
But I imagine, I used to work events too, catering events, lots of events like this. I imagine there's a peak period when most of the people are coming.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's usually around 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your peak time.
Mhm.
So when I'm looking at your diagram, you guys have the street closure a little bit further out here, and then here you have lots behind as well. But I'm concerned about these 2 right here, where they're just inside your street closure area. You're gonna get plenty of people that are gonna park down by Aloha Tower or park other places, or get dropped off by an Uber down at Aloha Tower or in those areas. And what are you gonna do about people lining up on the unclosed street area to get in?
So last year that was the bottom at King Street was actually our slowest wristband station.
Okay.
But if we had a line, we would queue it up along King Street, along the sidewalk,
Okay.
and
And
our
you folks
staff-
have a plan for that?
yes, our staff has been working our events for the past 5 years, and a great bunch of them always come back. So we have a good system to get people in pretty quickly and safely.
and you have a system for denying people access as well? Trained staff, you know, because not everybody. This is Halloween. Everybody gonna be dressed up, but and that's the time when the under 21 crowd tries to dress up so that they can get in with fake IDs and other things like that. So how are you folks gonna address that?
So we can probably have security.
Sure, come on up. Yeah, of course.
And
Well, my name
please
is-
state your name for
My
the
name is
record.
Thomas Frazier, last name Frazier, Frazier. I run security for this particular event, but also as well as almost every venue in Chinatown, from Bar 35 to Manifest to JJ Douglas, Murphy's, all the above. So, sorry, what was your question?
So this is Halloween. You're gonna have people dressed up in costumes,
Yes.
masks, makeup. What is your process for IDing people, and if they are not of age or using a fake identification, what's your process for making
So
sure they do
generally
not
everybody-
enter the event?
So generally, everybody approaches with wristband booths on the street. If they appear to be 45 and below, and they have to have a full mask on or any kind of makeup, we don't take it off as much as possible. And if we don't feel comfortable giving them a wristband to drink, we won't give it to them.
Okay, and you folks are. So what I'm asking is, when you're at a bar, you come into the entrance of a bar. I've been to
Correct.
bar 35 lots. There's a door.
Right.
So if you say you can't come in, you don't have the ID, or this is a fake ID, it's easy to keep you out.
Correct.
In an open event like this, what is are you folks communicating to the other wristband stations, or what are you folks gonna do if somebody is really intent on getting in?
Getting into the establishment, like the particular bars, or
No,
just
getting
milling around the
into
streets.
the area, into the getting a wristband to come in and drink.
We wouldn't give a wristband regardless.
Okay.
Regardless how persistent or pertinent they are. We personally wouldn't give a wristband.
So also in a lot of cases, if it escalates, we'll pull that party to the side, and then we'll have a separate discussion on the side and try to work it out.
Thank you.
Also, what we utilize it. With an event this big, we have numerous amount of police officers, and I don't hesitate to use them in those situations.
What
So
I
we'll
want
be
to hear is
consistent.
that you folks are anticipating these things that are easily anticipated with this type of event, and that you have a plan for all of those things when they occur.
Yeah, these type of things happen all the time, whether it's a Halloween event or any event.
Right.
So these are things it's not nothing new to say. It happens, and we're fully prepared for it.
Okay, great.
So I have a couple of questions, but first I have a comment. But this event is unique because everybody is dressed up in a costume, right? Some costumes have long gloves and stuff like that, right? It's easy to hide the wristband. It's easy for a person with a wristband to pass an alcohol beverage to a minor. So it's very unique, very different. You don't how do I say it? You don't get what you see. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So looking at your security plan, right? On your private security, right? So you have 12 private security personnel dedicated to monitoring the perimeter of the entertainment area. And then you have 20 private security personnel dedicated to proactively roaming the grounds and spotting and addressing potential issues, right?
Right.
So that's a total of 32. Are any of those 12 or 20 commingled?
You talk about so the people that are roaming the street are dedicated street.
You will
to
have
the
20 at all time,
Hold this.
and you will have the 12 at all time.
Correct.
You will not alternate any people.
The only alternation it would be would be so let's say a perimeter guy is having an issue with something. We may take one of the roamers and double up the perimeter for it until the altercation done.
Okay, very good. Okay, so also on your security plan, you claim to have 29 HPD special duty officers, right? You have secured 29 HPD officers.
That's our request.
That is your request. Have you had any response from HPD?
That
Special Duties Division?
they listed it, so now it's the sign up process. But I will say though that the past 2 years we had those
Requests
positions
filled?
It's been filled.
It's been filled.
They have been filled for whatever. So do you feel that 29 HPD officers is sufficient for a crowd of 5,000?
I do. I actually think it's a little much.
Okay, very good. Commissioners, do you have any other questions or can we have a motion to convene into
Actually, I got
executive session?
one last
Commissioner
question.
Lee.
The event end time, I see there's conflicting numbers on your application in your DTS. It's the middle, one says 10 o'clock, one says 11 o'clock. Could you kind of explain what?
So yeah, some music ends at 9:55, a hard stop at 9:55. But we wanna serve till 10:30 and have all the liquor off the street by 11.
Did and that basically addresses one of the concerns of the prior I forgot their last names, I apologize. Where they said that the event shut down at 10 o'clock in Murphy's and the crowd just scattered and didn't know what to do. This helps us contain and stagger the crowd and help form traffic flow to get into the clubs. Also, we've also partnered with Uber as well too. We haven't really announced our partnership as yet, but we're going to do special with Uber where there's a special pickup zone, so it allows people to get picked up with Ubers as well too. So it helps us control this mass exodus.
Do you know where that's going to be?
That's going to be on Bethel Street.
This is from DTS,
Road
right?
closure.
Bethel and what?
But-
Or just
Bethel and on the
throughout
bottom Smith
This is the
Street.
form that says
Bethel and Smith?
road closure goes to.
So Bethel would be across JJ Dolan,
This is,
Right.
so this is the
and on
application.
Smith it would be
This is the response.
it's a
But it's not official.
what's that place called there? Smith and Union on that side.
It's
Okay.
even. It's even.
No, Smith and Kings, I'm sorry. Smith and Kings.
On the
So
Makai
now
side.
plus-
Yes.
Okay, so one pickup area on the Mauka side of the event and one pickup area on the Makai side.
This document that was provided, was that a response from DTS? Much is this?
No.
No, that's a.
I'm not sure what you're looking at.
On that sheet, you can see there's an event time that ends at 10 p.m. And it differs from your application. The application stated 11.
We spoke to DTS this morning. I'm not sure what this is regards to.
Excuse me, do you have a communication from that conversation?
The DTS.
That is a response from DTS, correct?
I have not seen this.
I'm guessing it
It was
is.
included in your packet too.
Okay.
'Cause when we spoke to DTS today, they said that they didn't send you guys our.
Okay, yeah, that was in the packet, so I'm just kind of wondering what it is.
Did they send it to you today?
That was in our.
We
It
got
had to
it
be
on
sent to us
Monday.
before that. It was in our packet.
It was part of the application that was submitted, whenever that was.
Yeah, so whoever prepared your application, that was included on the packet.
October 1st?
Is it based off of what? October 1st. Or did we send this one?
Oh, that's this one.
Ah, okay, I see what you're
This one.
talking about.
October 30th.
And then this one was attached to something.
No, see, this is not 11 p.m.
Right, but the event time.
Event
Fine.
time closes at 10.
So
That is a little confusing. I guess we'll go back with them and have that conversation.
But we did have a meeting with police, fire, everybody, the bus lines, and DTS. Everybody knows the times.
Okay.
Motion to convene into executive session.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, we now recess for executive session.
Stand, I guess I'm
You can add or have a default intern, if I don't know. Might not be.
Should make you one.
Okay, time.
So much of a gentleman.
Let me review that.
Okay, we are now back on the official record. Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any further questions or type of action?
Yes, Chair. Motion is to approve application number 1915277 with the following conditions. Number 1, all alcohol service shall end at 10 o'clock p.m. Number 2, the applicant shall appear before the commission no later than 30 days to furnish a post-event report to include the following. 1 will be documentation of the total volume of alcohol sales and locations of such sales. 2, number of wristbands issued. And number 3, any public complaints to include noise, disturbances, safety issues, or disorderly conduct.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 3, application number 19-15277 is approved with the conditions stated in Vice Chair Gannabon's motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item number 3.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm corrected. Number 4, application number 19-15306 from Hawaii Youth Golf Association. Please come on this side. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Hyunji Anderson, representing Hawaii Youth Golf Association. My name is spelled HYUNJIANDERSON. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jason Kawakami, JASONKAWAKAMI.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Let's start off. Miss Anderson, I understand that you submitted the application to do this special event at the Aloha Tower. Can you state for the record what your position is with the Hawaii Youth Golf Association?
My position?
Yes.
I am a registered agent of the organization.
Do you have a letter consenting from the board there, consenting, authorizing you?
Yes.
You do? Okay, if you could kindly submit that, you can submit that after, or you can submit that. So going over this application, it's my understanding that this event has simply been put, the purpose and the mission for this event is to develop character in Hawaii's youth through golf. And is there anything?
The event, when we do events, we work with a lot of local nonprofits, and with the First Tee Hawaii, we've worked with events in years past where we've done little golf tournaments, little events, and we like to help support their cause. So with events like this, what we do is we work with the First Tee Hawaii, with the Andersons, and help them raise money.
I understand that, Mr. Kawakami. Except I guess this event of the type of nature of this event, I mean, I've been to some of the events that has been done. And I commend that, I mean, as far as what they try to do for the youth and stuff, which is simply events at Ho'akale, you guys have other things that, right? in mere honesty, this is a completely different event that we're talking about, correct?
Correct. It's not a youth golf event.
Okay. Your application, being a volunteer for this, fails to mention that, and that's where I put the focus of attention to Mrs. Anderson, who can then tell us what type of venue this is and what is expected of that venue. So what, according to your application here, you have no performers, nothing, what's gonna happen the day of this event?
Because Mr. Kawakami strictly handles the details of how the event is run, he is a better person who will be able to answer the question for you if that's okay with you.
I understand that, Mrs. Anderson, however, you are aware that the entire liability falls on you as well, yeah?
I understand that.
Okay, and the association is aware of that as well. Okay, so they understand there's liquor sales being involved in this event, that your nonprofit is taking that position.
If anything, then yes, we understand the liability. Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Kawakami, being that she's directed the question to you, explain the events of what this venue is.
The event we're having here at Aloha Tower on the 27th is it's like a festival event celebrating Halloween. We also work with the Aloha Tower with HPU. The event is a ticketed event. We're also working with the community and Kalapalua as well, which I heard you mention earlier. We're working in marketing promo with them. The event is a concerted event. The concert the concert performers on the event is a variety of different genres. We have a band named 8250, which is like a local band. They have a great local following. They have more like a rock kind of live performance. We have another local performer named Dan Boy. He's a local. I guess the genre you would call it is more like local music. He's from Waipahu. He's a local boy. He's also going to perform, and we have Grammy-nominated hip hop artist Ja Rule.
Which is the headliner, right?
Which is the headliner. We also do have a costume contest involved here. That's kind of headlines the show as well.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Why wasn't that disclosed on the application?
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that it wasn't disclosed. That is my fault.
Yeah, so Mr. Kawakami, being that the events that you've done, which I'm aware of the events you've done, concerts and similar in other venues, meaning at the Blaisdell Center, more of a controlled atmosphere type of event, right?
Correct.
In which everything is sanctioned through the city and county, you have strict rules and we're allowing a 1 day here,
Correct.
a 1 day.
Yes, sir.
Given the information that you've given, which is nearly, that's why I'm having you state it for the record right now,
Understand.
because your application is incomplete about that.
I'm sorry. I understand.
So, you've given us a little ample time and provided us the safety and security plan, in which, we have 24 pages to go through today
I
as we
understand.
speak. So I don't think I'm gonna catch everything on your security plan, but as you heard in the earlier case, we're pretty detailed about what goes on and what
Yes.
happens there as well.
Yes.
The floor plan that was provided with this application didn't really provide much until we got the other one as of today. You provided pictures of the event wristbands. So let's walk. You included Hullabaloo's wristbands on this as well.
But again, both parties will have a list of names. It's a limited amount of tickets with a combined ticket. So it's just a list. So if to enter their party or to enter our event, you'd have to get ID'd and verified and checked and re-wristband.
So on your floor plan, where is your will call?
Will call it would be in the front on the box office, ticket office out at front.
What page are you directing us to?
This is page 6.
We have the main entrance, we have a smoking section where we have security, medical, where are we?
Well, the will call is out
At the front?
Yeah, it's out front. We left a little space there because we don't want any issues with lines or entrancing or ticketing or will call. The entrance is about probably 300 feet away.
And I know that you've done events here at the Aloha Tower.
Yes.
What is the maximum capacity for this
The
venue?
max capacity for the venue is 3,500.
And you've pre-sold tickets already,
Pre-sold tickets, correct?
and you don't plan on going anything over the 3,500. This is not a 21 and over event either, right?
This is.
It is.
This is
So
a
you have
20
to be 21
You
and
have
over.
to be 21 and over to enter the event.
So what happens after you purchase? When you purchase the tickets online, it doesn't ask you for an age.
On top of our website and on the tickets and at the door, we do state clearly that the events are all 21 and over. If somebody does, because people do mistakenly buy tickets that are under 21, and we've had that many times in the past, we refund their ticket.
And I'm assuming because you're familiar with this area, where is the Uber and the Lyft pickups for
So-
Aloha Tower?
HPU and Aloha Tower, to make that Uber pickup a lot easier and safer for all the guests, they close off that one side private access road by 4th Street Mall side to enter, so the Ubers can turn around and they all line up right there. So there's not two-way traffic when they're leaving. So it's a lot easier for
That's on
people
the
to exit. Yeah,
Eva side
the Eva side, yeah,
entrance.
the Eva side one, yes.
Okay. So they would enter through either the Bishop Street side or further down
Pier 5,
Pier
or the,
5.
yeah, Pier 5 or 6, yeah, correct.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but also on a supplemental special license application, it's stated here that the Hawaii Youth Golf Association will receive funds generated from the fundraiser.
Correct. Maybe that's worded improperly, but we will raise funds for the Hawaii Youth Organization after the event, and we do donate funds to them.
In the past, how much have you donated?
It usually ends up to be about $1,500, $2,000, depending on, of course, the size of the event and what we can donate.
So I don't know if Mrs. Anderson is aware of this, but also on the supplemental, and you've heard this, I state this, yeah, previously to the previous audience that we had, or the previous same situation, yeah. You guys have a special asking for a non-profit, special one day. And maybe you're not aware of it, but I wanna put it for the record, and Mrs. Anderson, you're aware of this. On the statement of understanding that you signed with the Liquor Commission, that you signed on October 4th, 2018, you're considered the licensee for this event. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. Being of that, I'm gonna read to you, and you can refer to this after. Specifically, section 1 or number 1. The licensee is a not-for-profit organization of which no part of the income or profit derived from the use of this special license shall be distributable to its members, directors, or officers. If a third party will receive a distribution, please note, if the third party is a not-for-profit entity, and confirmed funds will be used for the required purpose of the applicant. Okay, so do you understand what that means? Okay. Lastly, you need to also, number 7 is, you will be held accountable for maintaining fiscal records for the purchase and the sale of liquor for this function or any distributions of money derived from this function or event. So you need to be the record keeper for this event, and that is going to be your responsibility as the licensee. It will necessarily be you, but it will also be the Hawaii Youth Golf Association. So I wanted to make that very clear to you as you had signed and consented to these statements.
I have a question regarding you, and thank you for putting it in your security plan, your communications, and the arrangement you have worked out with HPU. Because the Aloha Tower is now a dormitory, basically. So I'm a proud alumni of HPU. It's an international university, so there's a lot of international students, and alcohol rules vary between countries and states sometimes. So how are you folks going to be prepared for international students coming to this event and having different forms of ID, perhaps not in the English language, and they have been drinking in their own home country and now are not 21 coming to this event?
What HVU does is anyone that does dorm there, we do offer them, if they're over 21, we do offer them entry to the event. So we offer them complimentary entry if they're dorming there because we're kind of like in their home in general. Anyone under the age of 21, again, our security, we have over 25 to about 27 guards, 4 to 6 supervisors, private security. I think we requested 15 off duty. Their security requirements are ridiculous.
Do they have any experience checking foreign IDs though?
Yeah.
Because you know the United States is different with how we list our birth dates, correct?
Correct, yes. The security company I do use to do the ID check, they are the same company that's licensed and bonded that we use for all of our Blaze Down and Waikiki Shell shows.
Okay.
So
I
they're
but
very
I do,
credible.
because it is happening on their campus, we can expect there are going to be HBU students in attendance. I want you folks to be very diligent about checking IDs, especially from foreign students.
Yes, we do understand it is Halloween as well. So,
Yes.
So the entrance, if you look at the entrance of ours, the entrance, we have 4 entryways. It's actually extreme amount for the amount of people we're expecting. The reason for that is we check bags, we gotta check in like if somebody has like every Halloween event you do, they have like a weapon or like, some people think they can bring a spear. We check that in, like a coat check kind of stuff. So that all happens and we're prepared for it.
Okay, thank you.
Any further
Quick
questions?
question, where is the stage located?
The stage is located right on the pier area. If you look at the, it's right in next to the VIP and bar number 3. You see where the key map is? It's right there. It's black. I'm sorry, it probably said stage, but it's black.
This one in the corner?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's on the original one.
Okay. Too much
Sure.
paper.
Okay, okay. Any other questions? Motion to convene into executive session.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, we are now in executive.
You got it. The commission no later than 30 days to furnish a post-event report to include the following. Number 1, documentation of the total volume of alcohol sales and locations of such sales. Number 2, number of wristbands issued. And number 3, any public complaints to include noise disturbances, safety issues, or disorderly conduct.
Second.
Okay, before I go any further, just for the record, you will appear before this commission with your post-event.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, very good. It's been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 4. Application number 19-15306 is approved. Thank you for coming.
Happy
Thank you
Halloween.
guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry.
For all of the legal counsel in the house, the billing is good, the billing is good. Let's move on to preliminary hearings, agenda item number 5, transfer application number 19-14790 for Misty Blue LLC. Could you please come on this
Oh,
side?
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, I appreciate that.
I was gonna ask, can I sit over here? I knew there was a reason for everybody sitting here.
You don't wanna be the star on the TV, do you?
Okay.
Thank you very much, please introduce
Well, I'm used to
yourself.
saying good afternoon, but now I have to say good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. James Lee representing Misty Blue LLC, doing business as Misty Blue. Seated to my right is the member of the LLC, K. Chambliss, CHAMPLESS. No changes to the report.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Mr. Lee, I just have a question. Your client is aware of any outstanding violations that have yet to be adjudicated?
Yes, as far as I know. There were 2, but then the one had been dropped. So we have one for the alteration of the interior.
And your client is prepared to come before the commission to
Yes,
address those
yes,
violations?
correct.
Okay.
Motion to approve transfer application number 19-14790.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, agenda item number 5, transfer application number 19-14790 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Calling
Lee.
agenda item number
Thank you.
6, application number 18-13321 from Paisley. What is that? Meadery?
Metery.
Oh, Meadery, yes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Commission. Great to show up on behalf of the applicant Paisley Meadery. Mr. Simpson was here, James Simpson was here, and he went to take a smoke break, I believe. And
Okay, are you the authorized
yes,
representative?
I can
Okay.
speak. We have reviewed the investigative report. We have no changes to be made to the report. We are aware of the outstanding violation, and we'll be preparing
Thank you
to
very
address
much.
that accordingly.
Thank you.
Commissioners?
Yes, I actually have a question on your floor plan. It doesn't really state, the locations of the liquor manufacturing and whatnot. It looks like the primary purpose of the premise is going to be entertainment venue, as noted in the basement of it. I was wondering if you could explain.
Basically, on review of the premises, we can amend the floor plan accordingly, but the upstairs about approximately, I would say at least 1/3 to almost maybe a half of upstairs is part of the distillery.
Okay.
Equipment is up there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would appreciate if you had a revised floor plan, kind of
No
showing the locations.
Yes, no problem.
Also, the basement area, which is noted to have an entertainment area and dance floor, which does seem to be quite a bit of people, in a basement area. Just verify on your next floor plan. This is on your preliminary hearing, right? So, if you could kind of further show what's gonna happen down there.
Well, again, for record, Mr. James Simpson to my right.
Elevator malfunction. I apologize.
Motion to approve application number 18-13321 with taking into consideration Commissioner Lee's comment. We're gonna ask for an updated floor plan before public hearing.
No problem. Thank you.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 6, application number 18-13321 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Calling agenda item number 7, application number 18-14368 from Ko'olau Spirits LLC. Gentlemen.
Good evening, my name is Eric Dill, ERICDILL. To my right is Ian Brooks.
IANBROOKS.
Thank you. Please
Representing.
be seated.
Thank you.
Commissioners?
This is for a manufacturer license, correct, gentlemen?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had an opportunity to take a look at the investigative licensing report?
We have and we concur.
Do you have any response to the noted possible issues on page 4?
Yes, ma'am, we do actually.
Great.
We have no intention of engaging in individual online sales. We will sell to licensed distributors during legal sale hours, and they possibly may have online purchase programs. So there might be a little confusion what was stated.
Okay,
So, but we have no intention of doing individual online sales.
great. Thank you.
Motion to approve application number 18-14368.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 7, application number 18-14368 is approved.
Thank you. Good luck.
Can we ask a quick question concerning sampling, because Hawaii law.
That
Okay.
that's something that our
Yes.
staff are at the front desk can answer during normal business
Okay,
hours.
perfect.
Feel free to come in or call.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 8, application 19-14813 from Hawaii Seafood.
Greetings. I don't know how it
Greetings,
looks
Mr. Lu.
outside. To my right is Mr. John Jun Kai Cai Liang Liang. He is the president and owner. With the record reflect Wayne Lucas Council, we have no changes to the investigator's report. He has been operating under a temporary license.
Thank you. Commissioner,
Motion to approve application number 19-14813.
Second.
moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 8, application number 19-14813 is approved.
Mr. Chairman, while I'm here, I need to continue number 12.
Would you like to take that out of order?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we can do it.
Commissioners can have the type of action for agenda item number 12 out of order.
1 week.
Motion to continue agenda item number 12, application number 19-14888 for 1 week.
Second.
And moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 12. Going back to agenda item number 9. Is that correct?
Yes.
Application number 19-14865 from YHB Waikiki LLC. Mr. Kiyoshi.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Keith Kiyuchi for the applicant. To my right is Guy Yamamoto, who's one of the managers of the LA Koreana family of companies. I have only one correction to the investigator's report. The report notes LA Koreana's other interests. They should also include YHB Mililani. They own the Mililani golf course. And yeah, where he was. He's now stationed at Royal Hawaiian, unfortunately.
Oh.
And they also own the Kolau golf course. They've had 5 golf courses, no violations on any of those courses.
You like the windward side, right, Mr. Yamamoto?
It's a nice
So
drive.
do we.
Very good. Two excellent golf courses and excellent terrain, you know?
He's gonna try to keep it very wide open.
Alright.
Commissioners?
Motion to approve application number 19-14865.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 9, application number 19-14865 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure you bring plenty of sunscreen.
Well, for Mililani, bring a sweater, cause we were there last night, it was very cold.
Okay, moving on. Let's go to agenda item number 10, application number 19-14871 from Maui Tacos H7. Mr. Goda.
Good evening, members of the commission. Leo Gota, appearing on behalf of Maui Tacos 87 Inc. To my right is Alfonso Navarro Jr., Director of Operations. We have no changes to the investigative report.
Thank you. Commissioner?
Small question,
Sure.
I'm familiar with the area, former food court, right, in Kirk, in Highlands. So, it claims there's an outdoor patio, but there's not, right? That's
So-
within the
Since we got everything started a little later than some of the other tenants, the outdoor patio hasn't been fully finished yet. There will be a structure that is immovable, so there will be only one entrance, which would be through the food court door and then through our door to get into that patio.
Okay, so what side are you guys on when you're
So
facing?
when you're facing the
Yeah.
doors to go in, we are on the left side.
Okay, the formal noodle shop.
Yeah, so there's two, we took over
Okay.
2 spots,
Okay,
yeah, the first 2
gotcha.
spots there.
Got it, alright, good. Motion to approve application number 19-14871.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 10, application number 19-14871 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item number 11, application number 19-14989 from Tamora Enterprises. Mr. Z. Bakalam.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Emmanuel Zibakalam here on behalf of Tamora Enterprises Inc. And the authorized agent, I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners?
Sorry, again, where are we at, Mr. Zibakulan? Where in Courage?
The old down to earth, or I should say it's still there now, but it's gonna be the down to earth that's
Leaving.
leaving. They'll be moving.
Okay, okay, I was
Yeah,
wondering.
next to the Starbucks.
Okay, got it.
By this is by Hannah Miller's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diagonally.
Diagonal across.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve application number 1914989.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 11 is application number 19-14989 is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 12.
No, we did that one.
We did that one, I knew that, I just wanted to make sure you stay attention. Moving into request, agenda item number 13, request number 18-13949 from DS Restaurant Group. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good evening. Sanya Ho, ISARANYAHOOPAI, the Minister of the Special Group. That's it.
Yeah, alright, they just
Change of membership.
can help.
Motion to approve request number 18-13949.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 13, request number 18-13949 is approved.
Thank you.
Move into agenda item number 14. Request number 19-15264 from Lehman Kapolei LLC.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, members of the Commission, Emmanuel Ziwakalam here on behalf of Limon Kapolei LLC. And I can answer any questions you may have regarding the request.
Okay, this is a requesting approval to have live entertainment or recorded music and dancing on a 90-day trial basis. Commissioners.
Mr. Zibakulan, where is
Kamakonali.
no, but where we looking? It's just live music.
So live music, and it's actually hopefully going to be a salsa night on Saturdays. They'll be moving the tables and chairs from the inside area as well as the patio side, and using that as a dance area for salsa. If you can look at Exhibit A, the dashed lines are going to be the areas that are potential dancing / music spaces.
So this patio, but not this patio.
Correct.
Okay.
This bigger patio, is that the one facing out towards the parking lot?
It's the one in the corridor that if you're walking down leads directly to the I'm sorry, no, the theaters.
Oh, okay, alright.
Can you include for the period of 90 days in your motion, please?
Okay. Alright, motion to approve request number 19-15264 for 90-day trial period.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 14, request number 19-15264 is approved.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Agenda item number 15, request number 19-15279 from the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company LLC. Mr. Uyoka.
Good win tonight. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Let's see, right? Good win. Robert Uyoka on behalf of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company. Present to my right, Mr. Doug Chang. He is the general manager of the Ritz-Carlton Residences Waikiki Beach. At this time, we have nothing to add to the investigator's report.
And this is for deletion of licensed premises, correct?
Yes, correct.
Always happy to do that.
15,000 feet.
Big space.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about any drunken swimmers, do we?
Not on their watch.
Very nice, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve request number 1915279.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, agenda item number 15, request number 19-15279 is approved.
Thank you so much, mahalo.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Calling agenda item number 15A, request number 19-15030 from Cheers LLC.
Hi, good evening. Steve Silva, STEVSILV. Matthew MATTHWMAGHIMAY.
Okay, motion to approve request number 1915030.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, agenda item number 15A, request number 19-15030 is approved.
Thanks, guys.
Calling agenda item number 15B, request number 15345, Mr. Hu.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members, Kenneth Hu appearing for the applicant. This is a waiver request to allow the filing of a temporary license application after the 5-day deadline.
How long, Mr. Hu, has it been?
Since July 1
July 1
of this year.
of this year.
Yes.
Correct. Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Motion to approve request number, request number 1915345.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, agenda item number 15B, request number 15345 is approved.
Thank you.
Commissioners, can I have a type of action on agenda items number 16 to 28? Inclusive? Excuse me, 25.
Motion for the adoption of decision and order for agenda items number 16 through 25 inclusive.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, the adoption of decision in order, agenda items number 16 through 25 inclusive are approved. Moving into adjudications. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good evening, Joy Neely, Deputy Corporation Counsel, here for the prosecution for today's adjudication items.
Very good, thank you. Calling agenda item number 26, Food Pantry Ltd. Mr. Uyoka.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Ms. Uriah Robert Uyoka on behalf of Food Pantry. Present to my right, Ms. Brandy Pacheco, she's a district manager. At this time, we're gonna enter a plea of wavering in the charge, enter a plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 26, the no contest plea is accepted.
Okay, this is a second violation for adjudication purposes. There were previous violations in 2017, 2012 and 2000. So I recommend a penalty of $2,000.
Mr. Uyoka.
This involves a compliance check. In this one, the cashier requested an ID, but she became confused on the date of birth. So unfortunately, she proceeded with the sale. She's no longer an employee of Food Pantry. After this incident, we did conduct employee meetings and employee retraining. I do have copies, real quickly, of the training materials. If I could distribute it real quickly.
Yes, of course. Okay, thank you.
Does she have one? Does council have one? Sorry.
I don't.
Yeah, leave one with her, please. Chair.
What you have in front of you is actual training materials that we use for Food Pantry. Exhibit 1 are the training materials. Our training is done by a local person in person. It's not done online. It's done by a certified trainer. Exhibit 2 is the employee acknowledgement of training. We basically have everybody trained sign off on it to acknowledge training, and basically to acknowledge that there can be serious consequences, including termination if they commit a violation. Exhibit 3 are the actual examinations given to employees. If you could keep those confidential, because they actually contain the answers, but that's the actual exams we give to the employees. Exhibit number 3. It's actually 2 exams, an examination and a quiz. Exhibit 4 is a PowerPoint presentation used for training. And I just want to go on to Exhibit 5. What we've implemented as a result of this incident is an age verification card system. Basically, it's a system where if the clerk gets someone with a vertical ID, they call a manager over. A manager has to complete an age verification card, actually write in and sign it. We find it's much more effective than just looking at it, but the managers actually have to sign the card and to authorize the sale. So that would be Exhibit 6. Exhibit 5 is actually a decision flow chart where it shows where the customer presents the vertical ID, the cashier then requests manager assistance, the manager receives the ID, completes the verification card, and authorizes the sale. So Exhibit C is actually a card that was used relatively recent, I think in October 11. We've also included some video screenshots of audits that we've done of age verification system, just to make sure it's done right and the way that everybody is doing it the right way. We implemented this system as of September 6, 2018, and so far we did about 40 purchases that went through. We haven't had any declining. The manager has checked it, completed the card, and we keep it in the file for our records. The purpose of this age verification, again, is to give an additional review and verification of the age to make sure a person is legally able to purchase liquor, and also, again, to have the managers acknowledge in writing, not only verbally, not by looking at it and verbally, but actually sign their name on it, that the person is of age. We find that much more effective when people have to actually sign and write their name in there, as far as preventing the sale of liquor to minors.
Okay, I have, if I may, I have one question.
Yes.
So, when did you implement this new training?
This was implemented on September 6th of this year.
Of this year?
Yes, we actually went back and forth.
After the violation?
It was after the violation, yes, after the violation. We have actually wanted to do it a lot earlier, but just the logistics and having it done the right way. It took some time to implement, but we did implement it on September 6th.
Perhaps earlier would have been cheaper on food pantry.
For sure. If we would have done it earlier, I'm sure this incident would not have happened. So going forward, that's what we're looking at to prevent any future violations.
Thank you.
Just a quick question, Mr. Uyoka. I'm looking at the duplicate receipt copy. That's the audit trail. So it spits it up per cashier after.
That's the actual
like
one.
after ending
Yes.
a night.
So what we do is we staple the age verification card and the receipt together
To
for our
this.
records.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
Right. Any further questions? A motion to approve the recommended fine of $2,000.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 26, the recommended fine of $2,000 is approved.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 27, Takuya El Ranchero.
Good evening, members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Taqueria El Ranchero LLC. To my right is Mr. Hector Gomez, member. We waive reading of the charges.
Okay, I would like to move for dismissal of charge number 2. There are 3 charges.
Okay, can we handle charge number 1 first? Can we go
Okay.
orderly
Let's
down?
go in order.
Okay.
Thank you.
How would you like to plead as to charge 1?
No contest on charge 1.
Motion to accept the no contest plea, agenda item 27, charge 1.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. The no contest plea for agenda item number 27, violation number 1 is accepted.
Ms.
Okay.
Neely, for charge 1, what would be your recommendation?
$500.
Okay. And then let's move to charge 2, please. You would like to?
I would like to move to dismiss charge 2.
Charge 2, move to dismiss.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I vote aye. Agenda item number 27, charge number 2 is dismissed.
And as to charge 3, Mr. Gota,
No contest.
motion to accept the no contest plea for charge 2. Charge 3.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 27, charge number 3, the no contest plea is accepted.
And your recommendation for charge 3, Ms. Neely?
$500.
500.
Right, thank you.
Alright, Mr. Gota and Mr. Gomez. I believe that you folks had come in to ask for approval from the commission to conduct these activities, and you were denied, and you conducted them anyway, is that correct?
My understanding is this violation was for having live music and a DJ when the license at the time was
No, that was for charge 2, so charge 2 has been dismissed. So charge number 1 is what we're talking about.
right, operating outside of class,
Mhm.
which was having live music when the license did not allow live music.
Right.
So what happened on this one was Mr. Gomez came in for Liquor Commission approval to change the category of his license. That approval was granted by this commission on August 24th, 2017 at public hearing. What happened was Mr. Gomez failed to pick up the license and probably do a final inspection to effectuate that. It was his mistake. He thought attending the hearing and getting the change of category granted allowed him to then have live music. So we apologize to the commission for that. He understands the rules now, and he currently now has the live music license that was effectuated after the violation. But it was his mistake for forgetting to come and pick up the new license. But he did follow the procedures to apply to change the category to allow that live music.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. For charge 1, motion to approve the recommended fine of $500.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 27, charge number 1, the $500 recommended fine is approved.
And for charge 3, Mr. Gota,
This was a oversight on Mr. Gomez's part. Again, he misunderstood that, did not realize to have a karaoke machine, that there was a special approval required for that. So again, we apologized to the commission. He knows the rules, and this won't occur again.
thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fine of $500 for charge 3.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 27, charge number 3, the recommended fine of $500 is approved. Calling agenda item number 28, Panduria El Ranchero LLC.
Good evening, members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Taqueria El Ranchero LLC. To my right is Hector Gomez, member. We waive reading of the charges and enter a no contest plea for count 1.
Motion to accept the no contest plea for charge 1.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 28, charge number 1, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Neely, what's your recommendation for charge 1?
$500.
Thank you. And as to charge 2, Mr. Gota,
I move to dismiss charge 2 because it's somewhat duplicative. It's of charge 1, and it's not really the appropriate rule for the activity that happened.
thank you. Motion to dismiss charge 2.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 28, charge number 2 is dismissed.
Okay, for charge 1, Mr. Gota,
On this one, what happened was a patron purchased liquor inside the establishment. There was activities occurring outside of the establishment. There was no intent to allow liquor sales outside. However, his employee failed to stop the customer from taking the liquor outside, which again, he had strict instructions to the employees didn't follow it. That employee is no longer with them. To avoid those incidents in the future on busy nights, he has hired security to man the door to make sure nobody removes liquor from the premises.
so it's your representation that even though there was, this is from the charge, an easy corner type canopy in the parking lot between the first and second rows of traffic from the restaurant. You're representing that there was not alcohol outside in these areas?
One patron did, or a patron did remove alcohol, but alcohol was not being sold in that outdoor area.
Was it being served in that outdoor area?
No, the patron carried the liquor out from the bar inside the restaurant, outside to that outdoor area.
What was occurring out in the parking lot?
There was a mechanical bull and activities in that outdoor tent.
Is the outdoor tent still in the parking lot?
No, I have a permission from the landlord to hire mechanical bull.
So the easy tent is still up in the parking lot?
No.
Two separate events.
Oh, every Tuesday there's a tent.
However, there's absolutely no alcohol sale, or again, we have the security making sure nobody takes alcohol from the premises to the outdoor.
So that tent is removed
Every night, yes. Every Tuesday night.
every Tuesday night?
He's there for 4 hours, from 6 to 10.
And you folks have permission from the landlord to do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gomez, I just wanna let you know I was there yesterday. Your tent is up in your parking lot.
Yesterday,
Yes, yesterday.
there's no tent.
There's a tent up. You need to check with your security and under oath or whatever it is on TV, I'm saying that it was up, it was there.
Do other people have? Do other?
The easy canopy tent is up.
But I don't think it was me.
Okay,
There's
well,
no-
maybe there's somebody else putting an event on there, but I'm gonna let you know that
Was that a
I
mechanical bull
frequent the
there?
business every Tuesdays and Thursdays. And as of yesterday, it was there.
Yesterday was Wednesday.
Yeah, it was
There
there.
was no way there was a.
I'm not gonna sit and argue with you,
Okay.
but that's based on what I've seen, so it, I just wanna see your character and where you're going with
Oh
things
yeah,
as
no,
well.
did you, was there a mechanical bull underneath the tent?
I didn't bother looking at what was there.
I don't think it was it was not my tent.
Okay, so
I was trying to follow up.
let's move it on, but let me just, before Vice Chairman makes a motion, let me just remind you of one thing. You came here before this commission to ask for a liquor license to complement your excellent Mexican food, correct?
Yes.
That's what you wanted, okay? So we granted you that license. You moved into mechanical bulls, you moved into the parking lot of the property that you've leased. You've had all different violations or outside of the class of your license. Do you realize that is within our discretion, this commission, to revoke your license?
Yes, sir.
Or to put restrictions on where you can only do certain things?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we don't wanna see you guys coming back here and always, I didn't know, that's not an excuse.
I understand.
It's an oversight on my part, that's your responsibility. Having a liquor license is a privilege, we don't have to give anybody a liquor license. So when we have people that observe things, and if I remember correctly, wasn't there a lot of opposition from the community at your initial hearing? The people that lived in the townhouses behind Foodland and on the other street by Tomorrow's Warehouse?
Yes, sir.
Weren't they in protest?
Not anymore, but they were.
Not anymore? Maybe, okay, very good, I'm glad to hear that, but understand our position up here.
I understand, sir.
You don't wanna play by the rules, then you're gonna pay by the rules.
I understand,
Thank
sir.
you.
I also echo what Chair O'Donnell said. When you came in to apply for this liquor license, you represented to us that this was a quiet neighborhood Mexican restaurant, family friendly, and that you just wanted to be able to offer alcohol for those patrons that were dining at your restaurant. And now it seems that it has turned into a completely different operation. It's not a sleepy neighborhood restaurant with good Mexican food. It seems to be, a bar with all these things going on, Taco Tuesdays out in the parking lot. So we are it doesn't make us happy when these things occur, because then it falls on us as did we make the wrong decision in granting you this license? Because we
Understood.
are a public commission and we do have to answer to the public. So when you're representing to us something and then that's not what occurs after your license is issued, it is not pleasing to us. That being said, my motion is to issue approval violation of $1,000.
Second.
Then moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 28, charge number 1, a fine of $1,000 will be issued.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 29, Brick Oven Pizza.
Hi, Corey Aguano, C-O-R-E-Y, A-G-U-A-N.
You waive reading of the charge?
Yes.
How would you like to plead, sir?
No contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Then moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 29, the no contest plea is accepted.
I recommend a penalty of $250.
Sir, any comment?
I just forgot, and I brought him in the next day, but I just forgot.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fine of $250.
Second.
Moved in second, all of those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 29, the recommended fine of $250 is approved. Calling agenda item number 30, Brick Oven Pizza Kanioi.
Corey Aguano, C-O-R-E-Y, A-G-U-A-N-O, I'll waive the reading this one.
And your plea.
No contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 30, the no contest plea is accepted.
I recommend a fine of $250.
Any comment?
Same thing, I just forgot.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $250.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 30, the recommended fine of $250 is approved.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Calling agenda item number 31, Shore Fry.
Alan Farinas, authorized.
Mr. Farias, are you anxious to get out of here?
Hang out, guys, that's entertaining, so.
Yeah. Please have a seat.
Thank you,
Enjoy
thank you.
yourself.
F-A-R-I-N-A-S.
7 years, the first time I've seen.
You waive reading of the charge?
Yes,
How would you like to plead, sir?
guilty.
Motion to accept the guilty plea. Motion
Moved
to
in
accept-
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 31, the guilty plea is accepted.
I recommend a fine of $250.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $250.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 31, the recommended fine of $250 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Good evening.
Calling agenda item number 32, Hawaii Voice KTA and Lounge. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please sit down.
My name is Michelle Zhang, the owner for the Hawaii West KTVI.
Do you waive reading of the charge?
Yes.
How would you like to plead, sir?
I can pay a check after.
No, how would you like to plead?
No, just forgot. Yeah.
You can plead no contest?
No context. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 32, the no contest plea is accepted.
I recommend a fine of $350.
Sir, any comment?
No.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $350.
Second.
Can we get your name one more time? I don't.
Michelle Zhang, YUNXIAO, last name ZHANG.
Agenda item number 32, the recommended fine of $350 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 33, Himalayan Kitchen LLC.
I understand that this licensee had to leave. I previously talked to him and he said he planned to plead no contest, but I think he's indicated that he's okay with accepting a default judgment.
Okay, so are you moving?
I'm moving for a default judgment.
Okay. Motion to approve the default judgment.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 33, a default judgment will be issued.
And your recommendation for fine.
$350.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $350.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 33, a default judgment in the amount of $350 will be issued. Calling agenda item number 34, Lolo's Grill and Pupo Bar, Mr. Kiyuchi.
Good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Keith Kiyuchi, for the licensee, and the licensee is actually Green Clover Corporation. Waive reading of the charge, enter plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 34, the no contest plea is accepted.
I recommend a fine of $250.
This was a situation where it was under services agreement. We had no way of knowing what the person under service agreement sold, so we estimated the sales with the help of the staff. That's what we ended up doing, and if the commission recalls, the gross liquor sales were also paid by way of a payment plan because I did a settlement with the manager.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $250.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 34, the recommended fine of $250 is approved. Move on to agenda item number 35, Hawaii Pot Shabu Shabu. Oh. Hello there.
My general manager put the sales report in my car long time already. I forgot.
Could you please introduce yourself, please?
Oh, my name is
Okay.
Xiao Zhang. YUNXIAOZHA. Yeah, it's the president of the.
How would you like to plead?
No contest plea.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 35, the no contest plea is accepted.
I recommend a fine of $350.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $350.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 35, the recommended fine of $350 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 36, the counter. Miss
Did you miss your flight, Mr. Chu?
You did.
Good evening.
You want a YMCA luxurious room?
I'll figure out something. Good evening, members of the commission, Newton Chu on behalf of the licensee. It's Kahala, TC Kahala, LLC, doing business as the counter. Waive reading of the charges, we plead no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 36, the no contest plea is accepted.
I recommend a fine of $350.
Mr. Chu, any comment?
Yeah, we had turnover, someone left at the end of June. The person who was responsible for handling this, and due to circumstances beyond their control, it slipped by the deadline, and they filed it 9 days later.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $350.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 36, the recommended fine of $350 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Nice to stay in this
Calling
wonderful
agenda
office.
item number 37, Tropics Ale House, Kaka'aku, Mr. Kiyuchi.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Keith Kiyuchi for licensees actually K&J Ventures Inc. Waive reading of charge, enter plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 37, the no contest plea is accepted.
I recommend a fine of $350.
This is a situation where the gross liquor sales are actually zero because the license was in safekeeping. So it's an oversight that it didn't get filed. There was no sales, the license was in safekeeping for the whole time.
Motion to issue a letter of reprimand.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 37, letter of reprimand will be issued.
Thank you.
Is the license still in safekeeping? Mr.
No, the
Kiyuchi?
license is terminated as of June 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very
Thank
good. Calling agenda item number 38, Sophie's Gourmet Hawaiiana.
Oh boy.
Oh, crabs?
Oh boy. your legs fall asleep.
Yeah, I know. My shoes are on my tooth. It's John Kim, JOHNKIM.
Do you waive reading of the charge?
Yes.
How would you like to plead?
No contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
It's been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 38, the no contest plea is accepted.
I recommend a fine of $300.
Mr. Kim.
Yeah, so I stopped selling alcohol since August of last year. Just some issues with hiring minors and stuff, and I've had it in abeyance for a few months, and then safekeeping all throughout this year. And I stopped. I didn't renew my license in June, so it was just
an oversight.
Yeah, an oversight. And then I got a reminder call. I filled out the form, sent it in, and I thought that was okay, but I'm here.
So you no longer are licensed
No.
then? Okay. Motion to issue a letter of reprimand.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 38, letter of reprimand will be issued.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving into agenda item number 39, do we have any administrative matters?
None.